Can you imagine that a Coke can and plastic cup assist in solve a 30-year-old sexual assault and murder case? Yes, a Coke can. This case is remarkable because it's not only cut short the lived existence of 18-year-old college student Mandy Stavik, but it also took 30 years of her to attain justice. Meanwhile, Mandy's killer managed to evade the grasp of significant law enforcement agency. Interestingly, the crime unfolded in an area where no one would have anticipated it. A close-knit community where everyone was familiar with each other. It was a small town of only 300 to 335 residents in Washington where safety was so higher that people didn't even lock their door. However, on November 24, 1989, everything was set to shift. 18-year-old Mandy typically joked with her mother, but on that day she ventured out alone with her German Shepherd dog, Gary, to jog along the non-snack river. Little did she realize that this would be her final run. Hours later, only her dog Kara returned home, despite the being merely 10 to 12 hours along the path. A few individuals noticed Carrie return without Mandy, including her brother Lee, who was at the Edison residency half along the route. Mandy had been missed for 24 hours, prompting the entire town of Acme to commence a search for her, but there was no sign. The extensive research entered its second day since 18-year-old Amanda Stakes abruptly vanished the previous afternoon. 3 days later, Mandy's lifeless body was discovered 6 miles from her home in Nooksnack River. Her body was unclothed. Everyone in the community wished it was a tragically mischief, but only Mandy autopsy report could disclose the truth. The next day, the report indicated that the cause of death was apoplexy or drowning. Mandy had suffocated in that water. Nonetheless, there were no indication of struggle where Mandy's body was found, and the water at that spot wasn't deep enough. Furthermore, Mandy was an excellent swimmer, so it was evident that drowning was not the actual cause of her death. The medical examination revealed a different narrative: head injury and sexual assault. It appeared that someone had struck Mandy forcefully on that head, assaulted her. The entire town was in disbelief, and everyone had one pressing question: who could have done this to Mandy? Was the murder one of them, or had they come from elsewhere? Seeking their next target, the killer was still roaming free. This case remarkable and thrilling movie with countless twists and turns. Yet in the end it convey a lesson that we will should carry throughout our life. Welcome to the show. By 1986, DNA testing had been utilized in crime cases in the US, making it vital to identify the killer DNA in the particular case. Luckily, police discovered unidentified DNA from Monday body, and a sketch was created based on it. This could have represented a significant breakthrough. The police escalated their investigation, pursuing every lead and interviewing all witnesses. Ultimately, a name surfaced: David Such, a drafter who was spotted in the vicinity on the same day. A drafter referred to a wanderer with a less than stellar reputation in society. However, his DNA did not correspond with the unidentified simply found at the crime scene, leading police to execute him from suspicion. All their diligent effort seems in vain. 2 decades went by, two detective changes, but the crime stayed unsolved. Nevertheless, police did not relent. In 2009, Detective Kevin Bourne was assigned to the case. He began gathering DNA samples from all those who had resided in Acne. In 1989, 4 years went by, yet not single sample matched. The police department was exhausted, and many family members were weary of waiting for justice. The town of Acne had all but lost hope. Then an unexpected event occurred. Two women, Heather and Marilee, encountered each other at a water park. They had both attended the same college as Maddie. During their discussion, many names surfaced, and at the moment both recalled the same individual they had always suspected of being Mandy's killer, Tim Bass, a fellow student. But why did they mention Tim Bass? Was Tim genuinely the murderer? And if these two women had always been suspicion of him, why had they kept quiet for so long? To uncover the answer to these questions, let's reveal Mandy's college years. During those college years, Heather and Mary Lee had an unsettling experience with Tim. He had tried to physically assault Heather during a school trip and had once intruded into Mary Lee's home late at night, attempting to force her into a physical relationship. Imagine a college student who pressures his own classmate to the extent that he harasses and molests them, constantly pushing them to engage in physical relationship. The mental trauma that both of them must have endured was profound, and the fear instilled in their hearts led them to keep everything a secret. However, after all these years, Hater may Mary finally realized that speaking out was crucial to bring justice for Mandy. So mustered the courage to connect the police. They shared their reason for suspecting Tim Bass and also recounting their disturbing experience with him. There was a major lead that the police and uncovered 25 years later. Tim lived near Mandy's home. In fact, the family had a good relationship and Tim's younger brother Tom was Mandy's friend. However, the shocking fact was that if Tim was indeed the real culprit, why didn't his DNA match the unknown male DNA? Especially since the police had collected samples from all the men in the area. The reason was negligence in the investigation. It turned out that the police had never collected a sample from Tim or his family member because the two families were quite close, so no one suspected them. This was the biggest oversight by the police department. Whether Tom was guilty or not could only be determined through his DNA. So the police wasted no time and headed to Tim's house. For the past 25 years, Tim had been living peaceful with his wife and three children Everson about 30 kilometers from Acme, where he would worked as a delivery truck driver at a bakery. The police met with him and explained the entire case to him, requesting a living sample. However, Tim outright refused to provide his sample, deepening the police suspicion about him, promoting them to conduct a background check. The police spoke to Tim's brother Tom Boss. Tom informed them that Tim and always had anti-social and the breakup during college had made him every more aggressive. After the breakup, Tim developed a peculiar hatred towards women, as if he harbored resentment against girls and women in general. 6 weeks after Mandy's death, Tim married his college classmate Gina Malone. Just think for a moment what life could be like for a girl marrying someone like him. When the police met Tim's wife, Gina, the revelations were horrifying. Tim was controlling and emotionally abusive partner who treated his wife like a servant. Gina felt trapped and unable to leave him because Tim had threatened her, saying that she ever tried to leave he would lie and gain custody of their three children. She had been enduring this for the last 30 years, and for Gina, the marrying felt like a whistle. Without this revelation, Tim was now seen as a prime suspect in the case. But to prove him guilty, police still needed strong evidence. They urgently required his DNA sample, so they formed a team and spent the entire night tracking him, hoping he would discard something that continued his saliva. Unfortunately, their efforts with no reason. It was either a stroke of bad luck or Tim was too cunning. However, they say that when all doors seems to closing, one door opens somewhere, and that door was Tim's boss, Kim Wangar. The police approached Kim and explained the situation. She also had a negative experience with Tim and had noticed his disgraceful behavior towards women. Without any hesitation, she agreed to help the police. Kim knew she had a fine way to obtain Tim DNA sample, so she began keeping a close watch on him, hoping for an opportunity to get something that would contain his DNA. Months passed, and finally, the DNA arrived when Tim discarded a Coke can and plastic cup in a dumpster. This was Kim Charles. She stealthily retrieved the Coke can and plastic cup without being seen and handed them over to the police. After some time, the test result came back, and the unknown DNA found at the crime scene matched him on December 17, 2007. The police arrested him for the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of Mandy Stavik. This case was very personal for every involved, including prosecutor Dave McCarvey, who was came out retirement to fight the case on behalf of Mandy, and did too pro bono. However, the case was still far more closed. During the trial, Tim made a shocking statement about Mandy, claiming they had a secret affair and that they had engaged a physical relationship that day, which was why his DNA was found on the Mandy's body. The bizarre claim raised eyebrows. The prosecution argued that there was no connection between Mandy and Tim. They had no interaction, nor were they in the same class. In fact, Tim was 4 years older than Mandy, and no one had ever seen them together. Tim's statement was utterly ludicrous and was unlikely to hold up to explore the truth. Mandy family came forward. Her wife Gina testified in court that she had a heart. Tim told his mother to place all the blame on his father, who had passed away 10 years prior. However, Tim's mother outright refused to do so. What despicable level of manipulation for a man to ask his mother to shift blame in onto his deceased father in sexually assault case. Tim's brother Tom also testified, revealing how Tim pressured him to stay in court that Mandy's character was questionable, claiming that there were physical relationships between Tom and Mandy. In an effort to discredit the sexually assault angle, Tim had stopped to incredible long in how his defense. After 30 years of waiting, 2 weeks of trial, and 5 hours of deliberation, the verdict was finally announced. Tim was sentenced to 27 years of the kidnapping, sexually assault, and murder of Mandy Stavik. This was the story. Thank you for watching. If you like, please subscribe the channel and hit the like button. Thank you.